Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card is going to be healing and comforting messages from your guardian angels. This is like the third time I filmed this intro because I keep like messing up when I say the title, but there we go. Healing and comforting messages from your guardian angels. This topic was actually somebody had suggested it in the comments of one of my videos quite a while back, but it kind of stuck with me and I thought, you know what, that would actually be a really sweet reading to do. So today I felt called to film it, and I have a lot of different angel decks that we're going to be using. So basically, we are going to see which guardian angels are around you and what they would like to talk to you about today. And then we're just going to get right into the messages. So it's pretty straightforward. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. So I'm going to show you each of our little stones one by one. And then please pick whichever one or ones you feel drawn to the most. For this reading, you can definitely watch as many as you would like. But yeah, without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Number 1 is Unakite. Number 2 is Honey Calcite. Number 3 is Ametrine. And number 4 is Blue Agate. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Unakite, this is going to be a reading. When I first used this stone, I was calling it Euconite, and then I saw like a bunch of other readers were calling it Unakite, and I was like, oh crap, I've been saying it wrong. And then I googled it and I'm pretty sure it's like you can call it either, like it's Unakite and also Euconite. I hope I'm not making that story up, but I feel like I googled it and it's both. But I don't know, Unakite has a nicer ring to it and it reminds me of like unity or something like that. And actually, I have an oracle deck called the Aora Gemstone Oracle, and there's a Unakite card on it, and the image on it looks like some kind of city. And in the guidebook it was saying like this image represents a city that exists in a higher dimension where masculine and feminine energies can live in harmony, and I thought that was so nice. So maybe you guys are balancing some masculine and feminine energies within you, or maybe you were drawn to this stone because there are unions drawing near in your life. But anyway, let's get into your cards. So we have oracle cards here from various different decks, and this first part of the reading is going to show us which guardian angels are around you and what they might want to be talking to you about today. I'm noticing there's a lot of smoke rising from this candle. I don't know if that's just going to be for your group or if that's just how this candle is, because I haven't used her in a long time. But I like to think of this as like negative energy being cleared away from you. So let's just let this smoke rise and let's take a look at your oracle cards. So wow, we are starting off strong. The first one that we have is Archangel Michael with the message of freedom and trust. Then we have Archangel Sandalphon, your prayers, victory. Let me start with that. Victory! Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. Archangel Gabriel, you have an important life purpose involving communication and the arts. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help you. It's interesting that we have a message involving the arts because Archangel Sandalphon, you know, he loves music. He loves to get down. So maybe we have some musicians in this group as well. We have Anemone with self-reliance and distrust. I understand that doubt grows my ability to discern. So I'll just point out the numbers on these cards. We have the number 2 on Archangel Michael's card, and then we have the number 23 on this distress card. So those could be significant numbers for you. It could also be something like the date February 23rd is significant in some way, like it's somebody's birthday, or maybe something exciting is going to happen for you on that day. I also think it's very cool that you guys got 3 archangels. This deck is all, I believe this is an Archangel Oracle deck, so all of the cards are archangels, but these 2 decks are not. They have a mix of archangels and other angels, and this one also has like different ascended masters or different deities in it. So it's very cool that you got 3 out of 3 archangels. You have some very powerful beings around you right now. This is like a combination message of just confirming to you that your prayers are being answered and that your manifestations are coming. And also a lot of encouragement for you to trust your own judgment. I'm just thinking of Archangel Michael's message, which says freedom and trust. And I'm also looking at this infinity symbol, which is reminding me of the magician in tarot, because the magician has that infinity symbol above his head. I literally just had to check on my arm to check where the infinity symbol was. You would think I know by now, but I knew it was on there somewhere. Yes, he has the infinity symbol above his head, and his arm is raised up to the sky as if he is bringing down inspirations and bringing down manifestations from the cosmos. He is connected to the higher realms, he is connected to earth, and he can bring down anything he can conceive of to earth. And I feel like this infinity symbol is really speaking of your group one's infinite ability to manifest anything you want. And your angels are coming through to say that you are free. You are free to manifest and create the life that you choose. So this group, those of you who are drawn to the Unakite, maybe there's been a little bit of struggle going on where you are, I want to say constantly, you are constantly questioning, like, am I creating a life that is right for me? Am I manifesting the right thing? Is this in alignment with my destiny, or is this in alignment with my highest good? And I think that this card is almost saying, like, trust your freedom. I feel like your freedom might be daunting you or even scaring you a little bit, because you might not trust that you will create the right things for yourself, or that what you want to manifest is in alignment with what will really make you happy. And I think that your angels really just want to reaffirm to you, they're saying, like, we would protect you. First of all, I think you guys do have a very, very good idea of what will truly make you happy. And that's why your angels are here. They're going to protect you. So they're always here to bring you the best version of what it is that you want. They're always here to bring you to the path that is going to make you the happiest. And I'm really not worried about you guys, like, wanting something that is not good for you or manifesting something that is not good for you. But they're saying, like, that's why we're here. If you were ever going to be in harm's way, or if you were like manifesting or pursuing after something that wasn't going to ultimately bring you happiness, then we will protect you. We're always here for you. And if you ever have this doubt, you can ask us for guidance, you can ask us to protect you, but we never want you to feel bad about yourself, or we never want you to judge yourself. So this is like, have more faith in what your heart desires. Have more faith in, if I want to manifest this, it's probably for a good reason. If I feel this longing in my heart, my soul probably wants to align with this thing, this person, this situation. I think I think they would like you to validate your desires more, and to trust your judgment more, and to feel excited by the freedom that you have to create whatever you want in this life, rather than scared by it, because it's like, what if I pick the wrong path, or what if I manifest the wrong thing? Because I think you guys are really a lot more in alignment than you realize, and your prayers are already on their way. Your prayers are already on their way. They have been heard, and they will be answered. For some of you, well, actually for a lot of you, we have this double message coming through because Sandalphon, you know, makes me think of music right away. He's even playing a musical instrument in this card. And then we also have Gabriel, who is saying that you have an important life purpose involving communication and the arts. So some things that you guys are manifesting into your life right now might be related to this, into your professional or creative dreams coming true. And this is your angels coming through to say that you are very much on the right path with regards to that. For those of you who have been struggling to know what it is that you really want to do or what your calling might be, this could be your angels coming through to give you a little bit of a hint that, you know, where your soul would be the most happy, it will have something to do with the arts, or it will have something to do with communications. And I feel like both of these are such broad fields. So of course they want you to feel free to explore in these fields. Like, you know, just with communication, I'm thinking of like advertising, I'm thinking of television, I'm thinking of teaching, I'm thinking of translating, of being an author, which is also arts, theater, music, photography, architecture, interior design, landscaping. Like there's so many things that could fall into this category. I also just heard like curator. I'm not really sure what that means, like curating art, curating music, or like helping to promote artists. It could even be something like that, even if you're not directly the one making art, you know, being in that scene with artists, or I don't know, I feel like your soul wants to be around the arts in some way. Yeah, so, okay, let's move on to these next cards here. Self-reliance. This is definitely talking about you guys trusting yourself more, and you know, the purple and deep blue colors of the flowers is reminding me of the third eye chakra and the crown chakra. And actually, now that I think about it, these colors are repeating a lot throughout these cards. Like, trust that you are connected to some higher wisdom. I feel like you guys are a lot more divinely guided and a lot more like right on the money with what you're manifesting and what you're pursuing than you realize, or you're a lot closer to revealing what you want to manifest than you realize. Even if you resonated with being someone who doesn't really know what they want yet, even though you might feel completely lost, you're like exactly on the path to finding it, and it's like just inches away from your nose is the way that they're saying it. Maybe like it's right under your nose, it's right in front of your nose. I feel like that's an expression. But I want to talk about this distrust. I understand that doubt grows my ability to discern. There might be something here about repairing your relationship with doubt, because they were even saying from the beginning, like when you have doubts, not to feel bad about that, or not to feel bad about yourself, which I think is something that in the spiritual community we can struggle with. And I've definitely spoken about this before, but I feel like there's feelings of guilt associated with having doubt, because it's like, oh no, that means I don't trust my angels, that means I don't trust my spirit guides, and I'm supposed to trust them, so then we feel bad. Or it's like, well, if I'm so intuitive, if I'm so connected to my spiritual abilities, then why would I be doubting? And then, you know, we could start to feel bad and judge ourselves in that way. But I think that having a balance of, like, balance is so important in everything. You know, we often also talk about a balance between spirituality and practicality is very important. I'm thinking of like Queen of Swords, King of Swords energy, you know, still honoring that logical part of your mind and still honoring that part of you that has a healthy skepticism and that, you know, wants to discern things for themselves. So we have to think, how can these both be true? Because we often talk about, you know, like doubt is just the voice of your ego. You know, you're just getting in your head. You're just getting in your own way. Don't listen to your ego. But on the same time, we're also saying doubt can be healthy. Doubt can help you discern. And this is actually something I was thinking about recently, but okay, bear with me. I'm going to try to use an analogy. It's kind of the same as like, okay, as a YouTuber, I receive like negative comments sometimes. And there's a difference between comments that are constructive criticism and comments that are just being like rude, or comments that are just unnecessary. So I might get comments, and actually I got a lot of constructive criticism in the early days of my channel, which was, you know, much needed. A lot of people mention that I say like way too much, or I'm saying way too much, which I hope I still don't do that. I don't think I do, but if I do, I'm sorry, because I know it can be kind of annoying to listen to that. But yeah, I used to get like, hey Kino, this was a good reading, but the way you delivered the message was kind of distracting, or like, it would be nice if you could include this kind of interpretation as well, because sometimes when you talk about this message, I can't really relate to that. You know, and these things, I take note of it and I'll, you know, use that to improve next time. But then of course there's other comments that are just like, you're annoying, you're cringe, I hate it when tarot readers do this. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, man. Like, I can't help you then. And so you have to discern, like, okay, this is constructive, this is not. And I think it's the same thing with our own doubt and with our own negative thoughts. So, you know, if you're, and actually I think I used this example in a recent reading, and I'll just say it again because I think it applies in this situation. I used the example of like a singer who's going to perform, they have a big performance in front of thousands of people, and they might have doubt in their head, like doubt if they're really going to do a good job. Now, if you feel guilty about having doubt, or if you think doubt is bad, then you might just say like, oh no, I shouldn't listen to that voice who's worrying if I'm good enough, or who's worrying that I'm going to do a good job. But I think what this card is encouraging you to do is to sit with that doubt and discern, is this doubt constructive or not? Because if you listen to that voice of doubt, what is it saying? Maybe the voice of doubt is saying, oh man, like I really don't feel like I've practiced enough. I feel like I'm going to be nervous and I'm going to make a mistake. And maybe that voice of doubt has some wisdom for us. Maybe we can validate that doubt and say, okay, I hear you, and to make you feel better, I will practice more. But if you have a voice of doubt that's saying, you shouldn't go out there, you're not good enough to be a singer anyway, you should just quit, your voice sucks, like blah, blah, blah. If it's going on like this, okay, this is not constructive doubt. This is just tearing me down. This is not offering any solutions. So these kinds of negative thoughts, we're going to ignore those, because that's just not helpful. We want to address the negative thoughts that are bringing with it some kind of valid concern, or something that is constructive. So we don't want to just label all doubt as bad, or label all negative thoughts as bad, because we're supposed to be these constantly tapped in spiritual beings who trust everything. Like, no, we're people. We're people, and we have doubts sometimes, and we have concerns sometimes, and they should be addressed. And I feel like any spiritual practice that is demonizing negative thoughts, or, you know, demonizing not having complete faith all the time, is a little bit harmful, and it can lead to, you know, getting down on ourselves when we shouldn't. So I think that's maybe like a helpful tool. I hope it's helpful, like when you have negative thoughts, to ask yourself, is this constructive? Is there something I can do about this? Or is it just a voice in my head that's being negative for the sake of being negative, or just bringing me down with no solution, you know, just being defeatist? So yeah, I think this discernment is very, very important. And even when it comes to trusting yourself, like if I'm manifesting what's right for me, even listening to that doubt, like, because I was picking up, maybe some of you guys are daunted or overwhelmed by the freedom that you have to manifest whatever you want, and you're worried, like, am I going to manifest the right thing for me? Is this really in alignment with my highest good? Maybe even listening to that concern could be helpful. Like, okay, there's a part of me that's doubting the career path that I'm pursuing. If you listen to that voice, is it actually saying something constructive? Like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna like XYZ about this path. Maybe I should do something that's more ABC. If there's a valid concern like that, see if you can accommodate it. But if it's just a voice saying like, you don't know what's good for you, you always pick the wrong thing, or you always have bad luck, like, okay, that's not helping. That's not offering anything constructive. So yeah, I think you guys get the picture. I just wanted to give like different scenarios, but yes, I think this is what they want to talk about today. You know, trust yourself more, but also allow for your doubt to speak up, but know that at the end of the day, you get to discern if this doubt should be heard or not. And if you ever don't know what to do, if you're ever unclear, if you ever need help addressing your doubts, your angels are right here for you. And like I said, you got some big boys on your team. We have Archangel Michael, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Gabriel or Gabrielle. So let's get into your tarot now and see what other messages they have for you. I've been using the thick tarot decks recently. They're a little hard to shuffle, but okay, group number 1. What messages do our guardian angels have for group number 1? We have the 4 of Cups. Interesting. I'm just thinking, you know, 4 of Cups, there's something that you're not seeing that's being offered to you. And then before I use that expression, like it's right under your nose, it's right in front of your nose or whatever it is. And you see, the angel is trying to offer this person a cup. It's literally right in front of their face and they don't see it. So there's some blessing or opportunity that is coming to you guys. And literally it may be already here. Like it's already in plain sight and you're either not seeing it or like you had previously dismissed it as like not an option, or you had just like skimmed over it. I had something like that happen to me recently and it came back around months later and I was like, oh, this opportunity, I didn't even think it was going to end up being significant. So yeah, your angels offered you something and it was right in front of you and like you didn't see it, or you were just kind of like, because the 4 of Cups also talks about like not being really satisfied with something or being bored with something. So something that you guys might have rejected or were not super excited about initially is like still waiting for you to notice its value. It was a blessing, but you didn't know it at the time. We also have the Page of Swords. The World. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm just going to take a couple more. The 7 of Swords. And Temperance. Okay, so I will just mention we have Sagittarius energy here with Temperance. So that could be significant sign in your birth chart. It could also be when Temperance comes out, I think like something's going to happen by the end of this year. Actually with the World as well. The World makes me think of a year because it's like the completion of a cycle. And then, you know, Temperance being Sagittarius energy, that's the season that's at the end, towards the end of the year. I know Capricorn's technically the last season of the year, but you get it. So something might be happening for you guys at the end of this year, or maybe like the beginning of 2023. Maybe that's why 23 is here. or by the end of this year. I feel like it's going to be some big victory in your career, or some big victory in a creative pursuit or an educational pursuit, or like you're making the next big step towards your calling and your life purpose. Okay, so I want to mention as well, all of these cards would make me think of like internet or social media. The Page of Swords makes me think of, well, it's communications, and we had the message here of you have an important life purpose involving communication. The World makes me think of the internet and social media as well, because it's something that connects people all over the world. It's something that broadens our horizons, which is what the world is all about too. And it's a place where we can be seen and where we can gain a platform and gain a following. And the world is also about like being seen and being admired. So you know, that kind of ties in here as well. And then Seven of Swords also makes me think about social media. This is an interpretation that I've been asked about a few times, but basically the Seven of Swords is about deception and personas, and I feel like that's what a lot of the internet is. It's like putting your best face forward and not showing the whole truth of who you are. And then Swords being about communication. I don't know. I think it was another reader who used that interpretation and I liked it, and I've just kept it for myself. So I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be like, you're becoming well known with your career. Like the internet is going to make you guys really successful in some way because your arts or your communications are being featured. They're being published somewhere, they're spreading. Yeah, it's like you're expanding through the power of the internet. And I feel like people all over the world are going to know about the work that you're doing. I keep hearing like you're going to be featured in something or promoted in something, or you're going to be published in something. And with Temperance as well, being Sagittarius energy, that could be also indicating foreign lands and travel. So with the World too, it's like there's this very expansive energy. Another thing that the Page of Swords is making me think next to the Four of Cups, because, you know, this was saying the answer is right in front of you, the solution is right in front of you, and the Page of Swords can talk about like a truth that is kind of difficult, a truth that is kind of hard to swallow. So there might be something that you guys have felt like you need to do in order to be successful, but for some reason you're avoiding it. I'm looking at this Page of Swords, how the sword is like, meh. And, you know, swords represent truth and clarity. So I'm thinking of this as like the truth is being bent, or the truth is being distorted. It's like, you know, let's say you know that you need to, I don't know, wait, let me think. Let's say, this is a really dumb example, but let's say you know that you need to clean your room. Like, you know that it's going to make you feel better, you know that it's going to make you more productive, but then you keep telling yourself like, oh, but you know what, I feel more comfortable actually with the clutter, and you know, I'm allergic to dust, so if I start sweeping things up, then I'm gonna have a reaction. Like, you're just saying all this stuff to kind of go around what you know you need to do, because the process of cleaning your room maybe kind of sucks, maybe it's not very fun, but deep down you know, like, if I just get this done, I'm gonna feel so much better. And so I feel like the angels have been offering you some solution to your problems, or offering you a next step of what you need to do to be successful, whether that's like a project to work on, whether that is maybe some like application process that is kind of troublesome, whether that is, you know, changing your habits or changing your routine, quitting something, changing something up, and like, you know that you need to do this, but it's just a pain, honestly. It's just a pain, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I don't have to. Maybe I can just work around that. Maybe I can do something else. Or, you know, maybe you're procrastinating or putting it off in some way. And then you stay kind of dissatisfied with the way things are, and you're like, if only there was a way, to make myself successful, if only there was a way to get to the next step. And your angels are like, and your higher self is like, sorry, those are aggressive throat clearings, but they're like, hello, and you're just like, like not looking. If only there was a way. Like, you know the way, but for some reason like you're avoiding it. And I honestly feel like it's just because it might be a little bit like of a cumbersome task. It's just like a little bit of a pain. It's a little bit tedious. But yeah, deep down that you know you should do it. And the Page of Swords is about like, let's get real. Let's just look at the truth that is a little bit unfavorable or a little bit hard to swallow. But I feel like when you take this cup from your angels, you're going to make huge leaps and bounds. It's probably not even going to be as bad as you think it is. Like, I know personally, sometimes I dread cleaning, like the example I mentioned, but once I get into it, it's kind of nice. It's kind of therapeutic. So I feel like once you guys get into it, you will enjoy the process and you'll be really, really happy that you did it. It might just be a little bit difficult to, get yourself, like work yourself up to do it. But it's going to bring immense rewards to you. It's going to bring immense success to you. The world is about accomplishments. It's about successful completion. It's about receiving recognition. I feel like you guys are going to feel really, really good about yourself once you take this opportunity, once you complete this step. And it's really, really going to catapult you. Yes, it's really, really going to catapult you guys. I feel like you're entering into a phase where your hard work is really being seen and recognized. The work that you put out is being admired. It's being highly valued. It's being highly appreciated. It's like you're finally getting the credit and the recognition that you deserve. With Temperance here, this is a card that talks about patience. So maybe for some of you guys, this has been it's been a long time coming. Like, you've been working on these goals for a very long time. Temperance is also about balance, which we were speaking about in the first part of this reading. It's about moderation. It's about having a healthy lifestyle. So maybe for some of you, one of the things that you're not addressing, one of the things that you're not looking up and claiming is like, okay, I need to start this healthy habit, or I need to drop this habit that's wasting my time, or I need to change my schedule in this way. Something that would create more health and more balance in your lifestyle. That could be something that you're ignoring. What else do I see with Temperance? A long journey that's going to be rewarding, balance and moderation. I'm also noticing that this liquid that is being poured between the cups is rainbow. And, cups make me think of like the Suit of Cups, which talks about our emotions. And then with this rainbow spectrum going through them, I'm thinking of you guys like embracing the entire spectrum of your emotions. That might be something that is very, very beneficial and very important for you on this journey. This could be so many different things, and it could be multiple different things. But another way I'm seeing this now is like, maybe this cup that you're ignoring is like some sadness or some grief, like some negative emotions that you need to process, but that maybe you'd been ignoring because you thought like negative emotions are bad. And I was just reading, it was on a Patreon video, and one of my friends had commented like, for anyone out there who is afraid of like feeling your negative emotions because you think it's going to have a bad impact on your manifestations, like, I'm telling you, just let it out. And I don't remember the exact wording, but they were saying that they find that it's after they just allow themselves to like release a huge bit of negative emotions that major progress comes in their manifestation. It's like once they purge that and release that and they get clear, then some huge leap is made in what they're manifesting. I feel like it's not beneficial, it's not helpful to anyone if you are suppressing your emotions or only allowing yourself to feel the good stuff. And even on the pursuit to have like a well-rounded, healthy lifestyle, that requires balance as well. And there's going to be fluctuations in that as well. So when we're building this healthy routine, a part of that healthy routine is allowing yourself, I think, to stray from it at times and to not be very, very strict with yourself. So, you know, if you have the goal of like going to bed earlier and that's the path that you're on, I feel like within that you need to allow yourself to say like, okay, some nights I'm going to get to bed earlier than others, and then sometimes I'm going to fail and I'm going to stay up until 2 a.m, and that's okay. Like, we're striving for progress, not perfection. And I'm not a robot, so, you know, depending on so many different factors, depending on my mood, depending on my energy levels, I'm gonna fall in different places in this spectrum all the time. And that's okay. I can't expect myself to be like a freaking robot that's just like pooping out health and positivity all the time. That's not realistic and that's not helpful for me. And I think this could also be talking about you guys looking at the bigger picture and looking at the longer term when it comes to your goals, you know, with this being about patience and moderation, and also about with Sagittarius energy being about zooming out and looking at the bigger picture. Maybe some of you guys just needed to be a little bit more patient with yourself when it came to reaching your goals. I'm hearing the word like spiraling. So maybe some of you guys were expecting like really big results from yourself really, really fast. And then, you know, like setting really, really high expectations for yourself. And then when you didn't make those, you would be like really disappointed, and you would like spiral and then lose motivation. I'm thinking of like, you know, like crash dieting, for example, where you restrict really, really badly and then you inevitably break it because it's not sustainable. And then we have this like yo-yoing or swinging back and forth. I'm thinking of that sort of energy, but it could be applied to like your productivity. Like you put way too strict standards on yourself of like, if you're a writer, I'm gonna write 30 pages a day. And then when you can't do it, you get disappointed and you feel like a failure, and then you lose motivation and you don't write anything for a month after that. So temperance could also be talking about, you know, just taking things one day at a time, going very small, which can be kind of hard at first because we want to see those immediate results. But I think temperance is about being okay with not seeing immediate results from day to day, and being able to zoom out and see the gradual progress that you've made at a larger scale. And now I'm also thinking about the 7 of Swords, which is about deception and not seeing the full truth. And I'm thinking about like social media and personas that we talked about before. If you're comparing yourself to people, especially on social media, with like how successful they've become in this much time, or like how aspirational their routine is, we have to remember that for the most part, what you're seeing is not 100% truthful. And it's not fair to compare yourselves to that, because anything you're seeing on social media has been filtered in some way. There's some level of deception there. You know, like even the person who posts all the like, my morning routine, what I eat in a day, they definitely have days where they can't stick to that, or where they're doing something that is more like unhealthy, or where they're struggling, but they might not show that. And so it's just not fair to compare yourself to that. So being more moderate with yourself, being more patient with yourself, favoring gradual, steady progress over like instant big progress because that's what you feel is expected of you. This is what your angels are really encouraging you to do. So we are moving into the last part of the reading now. I just have a few more oracle cards for the last messages for you guys. So first we have mind your business, let others do what they want. You can't change anyone. Keep your distance from those who drain you. It's interesting that we have this card that's like mind your business, and I think at the same time it's saying like don't mind other people's business. It's like stay in your lane, keep your eyes on your own prize. I feel like Tay posted something like this. Tarot with Tay posted something like this a while back, probably a long while back by the time this is up, but it was like if you're like looking over at what other people are doing or looking over at what your competition is doing, then you've already taken your eyes off your own goal. It's like stay focused on your own journey, stay focused on your own progress, stay focused on your own happiness. Even Chloe Taylor posted something like this recently, and I think it was referring like that girl trend or something like that. Instead of looking to what everybody else is doing and building your routine off of that, like build something off of what makes you feel personally good, and don't worry about proving that your routine is good or that your lifestyle is good or aspirational to anybody else. It doesn't have to be aspirational to anybody else. It just has to make you feel good and be enjoyable to you. And that's how it's going to be really, really sustainable for you. I would even include in this, let others do what they want. Let you do what you want, and you can't change anyone. You shouldn't feel like you have to change you. And if you feel, at the same time, I feel like this is putting the responsibility in your hands to distance yourself from those influences that drain you, that make you feel insecure, that might trigger you. Like the power is in your hands. If someone's existence is making you feel insecure, or if something that someone is posting is triggering you, we cannot tell them to stop being the way that they are or stop saying the things that they're saying, because we can't change them. But we can choose to disconnect from that. We can choose to unfollow or mute them or stop engaging with them. And I'm giving a lot of social media examples, but it's the same thing with like your friends in your real life or your family members. Like if you have a toxic person around you, or someone who just has toxic beliefs, toxic standards, instead of trying so hard to change their mind, maybe this is suggesting that you just let them think what they want to think and let them live how they want to live, and say like, I'm not vibing with that, so I'm going to remove myself. But all the power to you if you want to think that way and if you want to live your life that way. I think that we can really, really exhaust ourselves if we put that burden or that obligation on ourselves to try to change everybody's mind. Okay, the next card that we have, keep your heart open even when it hurts. And we have the number 14 here. Oh, which is actually repeated on Temperance. So 14 could be a significant number for you guys as well, which is interesting because 23 was the other one I mentioned, and both of those reduced to 5. This is a number that means change is coming to you guys. And the number 14 also personally makes me think of angels. So it's very, very fitting. Like when I see 1 and 4 together, I'm like, oh, angels are here. Yeah. And you know what? I feel like these cards go really, really well together, because when you learn how to just let people be how they want and take people at face value and then act accordingly, like I choose, I can either choose to stay around this energy, or I can remove myself. But what I'm not going to do is try to change you. Once we empower ourselves in that way, we can keep our heart open and we can be vulnerable. It's almost like, okay, sorry, I need a minute to to formulate this. Let's say there was someone in your life who was toxic or who had a toxic influence on you. If you feel like it's your job to stick around and change them, then the world is unsafe for you, because there's no telling that you can stay away from toxicity, if that makes sense. So you have to keep your heart closed because you don't feel like you have the power to move away from things that hurt you or move away from things that drain you. That's just how the world is. I'm gonna get hurt. But once you empower yourself to say like, okay, that feels toxic, I'm allowed to walk away, I'm allowed to say no to that. It's not my job to change it. I can just take my energy elsewhere. That gives you the power to open up again. I hope that makes sense. Like, you don't have to go around the world with protective gear on, because you don't have to stay around the things that would hurt you. I hope that makes sense. I think it made sense in my head. But it's allowing yourself to feel vulnerable, not because there's nothing out there that will hurt you, but because you know that you have the power to protect yourself from that. You have the power to move away from that. The next card that we have is Ametrine, which is very interesting because that was one of the other options for this reading. Ametrine was option number 3, which I obviously haven't gotten to yet, but if you guys were drawn to number 3, maybe there would be messages for you in that one as well. And it's interesting that there's the message of balancing masculine and feminine energies, because that's what Unakite is about, or at least in the guidebook of my gemstone oracle deck, that's what Unakite is about. Allow your feminine side to creatively inspire you and your masculine side to give you confidence. And then your last card is steady progress, slow and steady progress. We acknowledge you for the progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. Aw, so group number 1, these are all the messages I have for you today. So the angels have for you today. So we're going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to that one or any of my other songs, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 1, I'm sending so much love to you and to your angels, and I thank them very much for being here, and thank you very much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the honey calcite or golden calcite, or maybe they're the same thing, this is going to be your reading. So let's get right into these oracle cards that we have here. Like I mentioned in the intro, we're using a lot of different angel decks today. So in this part of the reading, we're going to see which guardian angels are with you and what they would like to talk to you about today. So the first one that we have is Archangel Jeremiel. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it says, live in the now. Then we have Archangel Ariel with prosperity. Your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. We also have Sonia. I bring you a message from your deceased loved one. I am happy, at peace, and I love you very much. Please don't worry about me. Then we have the Lotus with enlightenment. And sadness. I know that all sadness has a renewal, or all sadness brings with it a renewal. So it's interesting, you know, looking at this Sonia card, I actually feel that one of your guardian angels who is coming through today is a loved one who has passed on. I should mention that this loved one doesn't necessarily have to be a human. So it could be, you know, a human member of your family. It could also be another non-human animal, an animal companion you once had who has crossed over to the other side. For some of you, this may actually be a loved one who has crossed over quite recently, because looking at this message saying, I'm happy, I'm at peace, please don't worry about me, that was sort of giving me the vibe of someone who maybe had just lost a loved one and is wondering that they're okay and hoping that they've made it to a better place. And this is them coming forward to confirm, yes, I'm okay, I'm very happy where I am now, you don't need to worry. And I'm still here with you, and I'm always sending you love. So this is really, really sweet. This card is definitely representing a Passover loved one. And then we also have these two archangels here, Archangel Jeremiel and Archangel Ariel. I am interpreting these two cards together. This card that says live in the now, and this card that is affirming your prosperity to you. Your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. I feel like this is your angels coming forward to give you permission, or encouraging you to give yourself permission to stop worrying about material things. They're saying your prosperity is assured. We promise that you will be supported as you move along in this journey. You have nothing to worry about. You will have everything that you need materially in terms of your money, your resources that are available to you, any possessions or equipment that you might need to move forward on your journey. We're going to make sure that you have it. And this combined with the message of live in the now, I feel like some of you guys who chose this group have maybe sort of been unable to live in the present and stop worrying about the future when it comes to your finances, or when it comes to your material security. It's like this might have been a dark cloud that was sort of hanging over you. So as much as you try to live in the now, as much as you try to enjoy the present moment and let go and be here now, it's a privilege to be able to do that. And I think your angels want to acknowledge that, maybe it hasn't been easy for you up until now, but they also want to reassure you, and they want to give you that permission to let go. Like, you don't need to worry about the future anymore, and know that everything has been taken care of, or everything will be taken care of at the right time. And we want you to know that we will make sure that you don't have to go without. We will make sure that your needs are being met and that your concerns are being addressed. Like, we want to give you permission to let go and live in the now without stressing about the future. It's like, I'm feeling this like survival mode, or you guys have been struggling with a lack mentality. And I should mention that anybody can struggle with this no matter how much money you have or don't have, no matter what your financial status is, you can have a lack mentality, and you can live worrying about the future of your finances or about your possessions. And this is something that I've seen to be true for myself. Like, even as I start to gain more material abundance, there's still something within me that worries. Like, what if I don't have enough for XYZ? What if I waste my money? What if I run out of money? And I have a lot of these irrational fears. I don't know. I just felt like acknowledging that, because anybody could be struggling with this. No matter what stage you are at, no matter what you have or don't have. I feel like this group has been struggling with some sort of lack mentality, or like, I can't fully enjoy the moment, I can't fully enjoy myself, or I can't enjoy money for the tool that it is, as something that is supposed to treat me, as something that is supposed to enrich my life and allow me to do the things that I want to do. It's like, maybe you struggle to have that positive relationship with money because you constantly feel like you need to be in survival mode, or worrying if there's going to be enough for tomorrow. And I just really feel your angels are here to say that everything is going to be okay. And I keep saying you have permission. I don't know if that's exactly the right wording, because it's not like you need permission from anybody to relax, or that you need permission to let go and live in the moment. So I think maybe it's more appropriate to say give yourself permission. They want you to give yourself permission. I don't need to constantly be worrying about this. I'm allowed to enjoy myself. There may be some of you in this group who came from a childhood where you didn't have much materially, and even though you're an adult now and you're able to take care of yourself and you have more disposable income, it's like you just can't bring yourself to enjoy that, or you can't bring yourself to move out of that like extreme frugality or that lack mentality. That might be something that is just weighing on you. But no matter what situation you're in, your angels want to remove this dark cloud that has been hanging over you, and they want you to start enjoying material abundance, and for that not to always be on the forefront of your mind. Like, you're allowed to just enjoy the now without stressing about what's going to happen tomorrow. That's basically the message that I feel coming through here. It's interesting that we have the message of enlightenment here, because when we are in these survival modes, when we have these dark clouds hanging over us, when we are constantly stressing about the future, it's very hard to be mindful, and it's very hard to hear our divine guidance, and it's very hard to hear our higher self. And I feel like as you guys come back into the now, and as you come into this place of, I'm not stressing about the past, I'm not stressing about the future, because that doesn't exist. All that exists is right now, and all I need to do in this moment is be in this moment. I feel like once you come back to that, you'll find that you have a lot more of these epiphanies. You find that you have a lot more downloads, for example, or hearing messages come through from your angels, or having these moments of truth about your spiritual experience. Once your mind is cleared, and once your mind is simplified, I feel like you're going to have a lot more of these enlightening moments. For some of you guys, something like meditation or yoga or breathing exercises could be very, very helpful. I myself have been doing quite a bit of breathing exercises recently, and it's amazing how it just, I don't know what it is, but it's like a switch goes off, my mind just shuts off, and I'm just focused on the breathing, on breathing in and breathing out and being in touch with my body. And anything I was thinking about or anything I was worrying about, it just melts away. Exercise, physical activity tends to have the same impact on me as well. And sometimes it makes me very, very emotional. Like, I even feel like I could start crying, because I think my mind is so relieved when I come back to my body and when I come back to the present moment. It's this immense relief of like, holy crap, this is what it feels like to not be worrying. This is what it feels like to not be troubling my mind with these unnecessary burdens or with these irrational fears. And I think it's so emotional, because it's like, it feels like coming home. It feels like coming back to this place of peace that was always there for me, that was always available to me if I would only choose it. And that feeling of like, I can feel this good. I am allowed to feel this good. I am allowed to feel that things are easy. I don't know, something about that just makes me want to cry. I think it's like relief. I think it's being moved. I think it's being grateful. And I think this is an energy that is accessible for you guys, and that maybe you have felt before, that feeling of absolute presence and that feeling of absolute oneness. I think this Lotus card is here just as a reminder of, this energy is always here for you. This beautiful place of peace is always here for you if you only choose it, if you only choose to come back to it. And again, you have permission to come back to it. With this sadness card here, I know that all sadness brings with it a renewal. I would definitely link this to the Sonia card, to the card that was talking to your deceased loved one. This is our cycle in life. This is the natural order of things. We're born, we live, we die, and we're reborn again. And I'm sure that this deceased loved one will come back to visit you in many different forms. I know personally in my family, we have passed on loved ones who would visit us in the form of animals. Like, they would come back and take another form, and we would see them outside our window, and we know that they're watching over us. So I definitely feel like this deceased loved one will be back You will see their presence in many different places in your waking life, in this physical earth. They will come back down, definitely. And I think they're saying like, I'm not really gone, I've just taken on another form, and there's no need to be sad. Like I could never be away from you. And I also think that, you know, with them being right in the middle of this spread, this could be them telling you that they can be a really big source of comfort for you when you're struggling to calm down, or when you're struggling to bring yourself back to the present moment, when you're struggling to get out of survival modes, when you're struggling with stress and overthinking about the future. This loved one could be, and actually I feel like they do already come down to comfort you in ways that maybe you have or haven't noticed, but I feel like they could take on the form of animals. It might sound strange, but even plants, they could, you know, come visit you with the energy of a plant, like if you're in nature. But I feel like anytime you guys are worried or stressed, they have some way of coming down to comfort you in the physical 3D world. Like, I'm still here, I'm always going to be here, and I'm always going to be here to help and bring you comfort. You're never ever alone. And your angels are with you as well. So this is what I'm seeing for the first oracle cards. So let's move into the tarot now. And we're just going to keep going with the messages. We'll get some more details into what your angels would like to say to you. For group number 2, what other messages do you have? We have the 3 of Cups. Yeah, they just want you to have fun. They just want you to enjoy yourself. We have the Tower, the Ace of Swords, the Lovers, and the Magician. Okay, so it's interesting. We have Gemini energy here with the Lovers, and then the Magician is associated with Mercury. So there's a lot of, I mean, Mercury is Gemini, it's also Virgo, but I was going to say there's a lot of air energy here. Like we have Mercury, we have Gemini, we have the Ace of Swords, which is related to air. So like Gemini or an air sign could be significant for you guys. But I feel like with the Lovers and the 3 of Cups here, this is giving me the vibes of soul family, or this is giving me the vibes of very, very close, intimate friendships. I feel like you guys are finding the friendship group that you feel really, really comfortable with and that you feel really, really understood with, or you may be rekindling some old friendships where you felt like this. But whatever the case may be, I feel like in this phase of your life, you're going to be surrounded by very, very loving and very, very supportive friends. I'm noticing that these 2 angels have blonde hair, so there could be a very significant friend coming into your life who has blonde hair or light colored hair, or who has like fair skin or a lighter complexion. But what's interesting about this part of the spread, the way I'm seeing this is that these friends are going to help you make peace with things that have like past traumas or past painful experiences, and they're going to help you get clarity on them. I don't think this Tower card is talking about a Tower moment that is going to happen from now on, but rather something that happened to you in the past. Just in case you're not familiar with the Tower card or this expression of like Tower moments, basically it's this moment in our life where it kind of feels like, and I never know this expression, but like the earth was pulled out from underneath our feet. Like we thought our life was going in a certain way. We thought we were moving in a certain direction, and all of a sudden everything falls apart, everything changes. And it can be very shocking. It can be very scary. It can, bring loss and destruction and chaos into our lives, where it's like, I thought my life was going this one way and now I don't know what's going on. And it's scary. I don't know what the future holds. The foundation that I built my life on has been messed with or completely taken away, and I don't know what's happening. And I feel like you guys have had a moment like this in your past that maybe you still haven't really processed it. You still haven't really made sense of it. Maybe you have picked up the pieces and you've moved on with your life, but I feel like the effects that it makes sense. The effects, like the psychological effects that this tower moment had on you, is still lingering over you. I'll just give a hypothetical example. Let's say that somebody, one day, all of a sudden, they lost their job out of nowhere. They were not expecting it. And so, their financial security was messed with, their living situation was messed with. They have no idea where they're going to find work in the future. Like, this is a traumatic event. And now let's say this person moves on and they do find a new job and they do build up their finances again and they're in a good place again. People on the outside might say, oh, look, I'm so happy everything worked out. You must feel so relieved now. You must be at peace now. And sure, maybe this person should feel at peace because things have looked up and things have gotten better, but that doesn't change the experience of trauma that they felt. Just because things are better now, who's to say that I won't have another tower moment? It's like, what this past event showed me is that things can be going so well for you, and then all of a sudden you can get hit with a tower moment. So even though from the outside looking in, my life might look very good right now, I'm still living in fear. Like, this tower moment is still messing with me. I feel like some tower moment from your past might still be lingering, and it's because I feel like you still haven't been able to make sense of why that happened. Like, you haven't gotten that clarity, or you haven't gotten that closure to say, like, okay, I understand why I needed to go through that. And so when I look at this spread where, you have these beautiful, loving friends with you, and then you have the clarity coming after the tower moment with the Ace of Swords, I feel like your friends or your loved ones are going to help you, like, to talk through what has happened and make sense of what has happened so that you can really release it. The Ace of Swords is also about communication, but it's also about mental clarity. It's also about making sense of things. It's also about epiphanies. It's about enlightenment, like we saw with the Lotus card. And, this crown is making me think of victory. The Ace of Swords is also about a new beginning after difficult times. And so even though you guys, it might look like you moved on to a new beginning, I feel like mentally you might not quite be there yet. It's like mentally you haven't made it out of this tower moment yet. Mentally you're still there. And I feel like this Three of Cups, these friends are going to help you, help your mind out of this tower moment so that you can really have a new beginning where you're not living in fear anymore, where you're not in this survival mode anymore, where you're not like obsessively stressing about the future anymore, where you can really be in the present and enjoy the abundance and the blessings that you currently have. They're going to help you to see why this tower moment happened. You can make peace with it. You can say, thank you, tower moment. I'm here now, and I'm not going to let you scare me anymore. You don't have power over me anymore because you're in the past, and the past is gone. And the past doesn't have to dictate how I feel now. So it's like you're letting go of the past, but you're also letting go of the future. And you're not letting either dictate how you feel now. Because the truth is that neither of them exist, and only now exists. And right now you are safe, you are abundant, you are taken care of by your angels, as well as by beautiful friends and loved ones on earth. Like, I'm seeing really, really intimate friendships here. And again, this could be new people coming into your life, or friends that are already in your life, or it could be something that is rekindling, some reconciliation that is happening. But especially the Lovers card in this deck, I just feel such a strong level of intimacy with it. And I definitely think that this is talking about intimacy like on an emotional level and on a mental level. So like you're really able to crack open your mind and crack open your heart and let someone look into that and let someone occupy that space without being afraid of judgment, without being afraid of abandonment, without being afraid of betrayal, like someone's gonna see what's in your mind and heart and use that against you. It's like you can feel completely safe and comfortable. And it's funny, I'm seeing the visual of a cat lying on its back, because when cats lie on their back and expose their belly, you know, that's a very vulnerable part of their body. So when they lie on their back like that, it means that they really, really trust you, and it means that they feel safe. And I think this was shown to me as like a metaphor or like symbolism of what you can do around these people, like genuinely trustworthy, loving, and loyal friends that are coming your way. The Three of Cups is also associated with the zodiac sign of Cancer, and I just feel like Cancers are very, very loyal and very nurturing and very loving and caring and protective. I really, really love the Cancer energy. In fact, I have a crab tattoo for Cancer, even though I don't have Cancer placements, except for is my 4th house cusp in Cancer? If you use Placidus, then it is. But if you use equal house, it's not in Cancer. But anyway, yeah, I don't have significant Cancer placements. I just really, really appreciate the energy. And I feel like that's the type of energy that's going to be around you. You know, Cancer is also about the home and your roots and where you feel the most comfortable and safe. And I feel like that really nicely sums up how you will feel in these relationships. These are your soul sisters, or these are your soul siblings. Like, this is your tribe, this is your home, these are your people. And I almost feel like there's a part of you that's like, you know, another tower moment may come and knock me down in the future, but I know that I'm going to be safe, and I know that I'm going to be okay, because I will never be alone. Like, you'll never be alone in the 3D, you'll never be alone in the 5D, because you have so much love around you. And no matter what happens, everything is going to be okay. No matter what tower gets knocked down, something better, something more beautiful is going to be built there. With all tristesse, I was going to say, with all sadness comes a renewal. And with every tower moment also comes a renewal. The universe doesn't just knock down the tower and then leave it barren. The universe knocks down a tower and builds, I don't know, what's better than a tower, and builds a freaking castle, a beautiful mansion there for you. And so I think with this mental clarity and with this enlightenment, you're understanding when the universe takes something away, it is genuinely because I don't need it anymore. And and I don't need to worry. And I know that something better is coming. And I've actually seen this, I've seen it in my own life, and I've seen it vicariously, if that's the right word, through readings I do for other people, where they reach this place where they're so trusting of their divine plan, that even when a tower moment comes, they're like, I don't know, I just feel so calm. I just know that this is meant to happen. I just know that everything is going to be okay. And I fully believe that you guys can reach that place. And I really believe that a big part of it is having this beautiful support system. And, you know, from experience, you guys will see, you'll have that clarity that, okay, when something has left my life in the past, it was because I didn't need it anymore. And it was because I was ready for something better. And once you have that understanding and that clarity, you know that even if another tower moment comes for you in the future, you're going to be okay. It's because a bigger, better tower is coming, and it's actually exciting. And you also know, I don't have to worry about like when this next moment is coming or what it's going to look like. I don't have to worry about that because I know I'm going to be taken care of. I just have to live in the now. I just have to enjoy the now. You know, in this life, that's really all we can do. There's no use in stressing for the future. It's not productive. All we can do is enjoy the moment now. And then, I was just so busy looking at these cards, I forgot our amazing magician that we have here. This is you guys, I think. This magician is representing you. I think it's representing your higher self. What I'm really feeling with him in the context of this reading is you have everything that it takes. And you can create any life that you desire. The magician has on his table the cup, the pentacle, the sword, and the wand, which is all four of the suits in tarot. And it represents that he is equipped with everything that he needs to live his dream life. So I almost feel like this is your angel saying to you, we would never put something in your path if you weren't ready for it, if you weren't fully equipped to handle it, and if you weren't fully equipped to transmute it into something better. And I also think that they're letting you know that your path is very much in alignment with what you want to manifest. And I know that sometimes it doesn't look that way. Sometimes it actually feels like the opposite is happening. But I think that this card is here to reassure to you that every little thing that has happened on your path, every little twist and turn, every little disruption, even the disappointments, even the rejections, even the sadness, all of it was deliberate. That's what I'm hearing. All of it was deliberate. Even in the moments where it felt like things were going completely derailed, it was deliberate. It was right on time. It was exactly part of the plan, and it was an ingredient in the very things that you wanted to manifest. And again, sometimes that's hard to understand, but looking back, we can always see. Just like we saw, looking back on the past tower moments, we get clarity about them. And I feel like the magician is here at the end to assure to you, in the not so far future, they're saying, when you've manifested the things that your heart has so desired, you will understand that everything you've been through was a necessary step in that. And it was a necessary ingredient in making you into the person who was ready to welcome your manifestations. I actually was watching a Gem Goddess video recently that spoke about this. Sometimes we need to go through these experiences that are character building because, we have this idea in our mind of what we want to achieve, what we want to obtain, the kind of life we want to live. But first we need to be shaped into the version of ourselves who can live that life, or who is going to experience those things in the right way, who's going to be able to hold on to them, who's going to be able to handle them. So any experiences that you guys have been through were directing you to what you want, or they were shaping you into the person who was a match to what you want, or who is ready to live the life that you want. And I think they just really want to affirm to you that nothing has happened in vain and nothing has happened by accident. And I genuinely think, I'm a broken record, I genuinely think that these beautiful relationships that you have or that are coming into your life are going to play a huge part in helping you understand that. And I think that you guys really should, getting your feelings into words and talking things through is really, really important. I cannot tell you how many epiphanies I've had because I talk things through with people. When you're thinking things through in your head, it's not the same. Because it's just abstract blobs. Your thoughts are just like abstract blobs stewing in your head. But when you put them into words, it starts to make sense, and it starts to become clear, and it starts to become a lot more simple. And we have Mercury energy here with the magician as well. We have Mercury energy here with Gemini, communication. And number three is about communication as well. Talking things through is so important. And if you guys are speaking with your angels, you might want to speak out loud to them. I know it could be a little bit awkward because it feels like you're talking to yourself, but speaking out loud could be very, very helpful for you guys in making sense of things. I do it all the time. I just talk to myself, or I channel messages from my spirit guides. It's fun. And I even do it outside because, you know, people would just assume that I'm using Bluetooth or something. So it doesn't matter. They won't, you know, they won't think anything. Yeah, okay, so let's move on now to the final oracle cards, our last messages and advice for you. So we have be what you seek. Let your desires inspire you to transform, match the vibration of what you want. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of the experiences that you guys have been through were character building in some way. And they were helping you to become a match to what it was that you really want. And this is why it's so important that we don't get hung up on, you know, how our manifestation is going to come, because the truth is, at the end of the day, like, we don't know what we need to bring in our manifestations. We don't know the person we're meant to become to receive these manifestations. So what we can do is just be very, very clear about what we want and know that we can get it, and then say, okay, angels, you know what I want. You know what my order is. It's like, and I think I've used this analogy before, but it's like when you go to a restaurant, you don't have to know the recipe to what you're ordering. You just have to know what you want to order. And then you just have to put your order into the kitchen. And the angels are like in the kitchen, you know, they know what the recipe is. They know how to do it. Sorry. I feel probably I've been a little bit better at articulating that previously, but we don't have to worry about the recipe, is what I'm trying to say. We just have to know what we want and then trust the chef, aka our higher self and the universe and our angels. We have open your heart to the magic around you, and it's very interesting. This card is number 19, which makes me think that some cycle is beginning and ending in your life. Also, the camera timer is at 33:55, so we have simultaneously the angel number of manifestation and expansion, as well as change. I think there's some really positive changes coming to your life soon, and it's funny because when I was talking about you guys manifesting what you want, I really felt called to say, like, in the not so distant future. I like that this card is telling you to open your heart to the magic around you. Again, not being fixated on how things are going to happen, and being open to, you know, paths that might be a little bit unpredictable, allowing the universe to step in and work their magic and do something that might be unexpected to you, but that is exactly what you need. I feel like miracles can happen in your life if you just open up your heart and, again, not stress about the universe's recipe. But it's also cool that we have a big sun here and we have the number 19. The sun is the number 19 in tarot. I feel like there might be, yeah, this is talking about epiphanies, clarity, enlightenment. The sun talks about brilliant ideas, brilliant inspirations. Yeah, and then we have the magician, which is like you guys are executing something, you guys are manifesting something. If you guys haven't already, very, very soon, I feel like you would get hit with some, I think urge is a good word, like this passionate urge or this passionate inspiration. It feels kind of sudden, but it feels right with regards to some project that you want to start, something that you want to learn how to do, something that you want to make, something new that you want to try, a new path that you want to take. Like, you're going to get hit because, you know, Ace of Swords, it's very sudden. It can come out of nowhere, but it's a very clear message. And I think that very soon you're going to get this, like, holy crap, I need to try this path. I need to start this project. I need to learn XYZ, or I need to travel to this place. And yeah, the more you can let go of the future or worrying what the future needs to look like, and just be in the present, that's when the magic happens. That's when you're open to a million different possibilities and a million potential paths. That's when you start having the epiphanies, and that's when things get exciting. Okay, we also have Emerald, ceremonies and celebrations. It's a time of important life passages such as weddings, birthdays, graduations, or anniversaries. Kind of interesting that we have this card, because the Three of Cups is also a card that can talk about celebrations, gatherings, people coming together for merrymaking. So this could actually be a hint of where you would meet this friend group, or where you have met this friend group if these people are already in your life. And also, I believe Emerald is the birthstone of May. So someone who is born in May might be significant as well. And then finally, we have reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. Yes, and this goes back to what we were speaking about at the very start of this reading. I feel like you guys, your angels want you to treat yourself a little bit. Your angels want you to splurge a little bit. I feel like you guys have been working so hard. You have been giving so much of yourself, but it's like you're constantly in saving mode, or you're constantly in hoarding mode. It's like, I see you guys worrying about the future and always saving for a rainy day, but like this abundance that you guys are accumulating, it's also meant to be given back to yourself and spent on yourself and splurged on yourself. It's like, money has a lot of uses, right? It brings us security for our future, but it also allows us to do things that we want to do. And it also allows us to splurge. We can invest in our beauty, in our health, in our hobbies, in our relationships, treating our friends, or going nice places with our friends. And it allows us to have all of these experiences that make our now better. And I feel like it's like you guys are more hung up on the use of it that's like, so that the future isn't as scary. It's like a preventative use of it, or like a cautious use of it. It's rooted in fear. And I'm not saying it's bad to prepare for the future or save for your future, but there needs to be balance. Like this card says, there needs to be a balance of giving and receiving. And you need to give some of the value that you've created from your hard work back to yourself. Basically, treat yourself. All of that blabbering was just telling you to treat yourself and enjoy the fruits of your labor, enjoy the fruits of your hard work. That's a big reason of why it's there. And I feel like as you guys get into the habit of paying yourself back and giving back to yourself and treating yourself and investing in yourself, receiving, the act of receiving and the act of enjoying is going to start to feel more natural. It might feel scary at first, but it will start to feel more natural to you. And as you get into this habit of treating yourself this way, I feel like that really opens you up a lot more to allowing the universe now to come in and spoil you and come in and treat you. Because receiving, it feels so natural. It feels so good. So if you want to get into the habit of receiving, start by giving to yourself. And then that will feel so good, and that will start to feel so natural that the next step will only naturally be to let the universe start spoiling you. Like you guys literally have a freaking cornucopia here. You have nothing to worry about. I'm also noticing that this angel is carrying, I think that's a conch shell. So some of you guys might be called to go to the sea, to relocate and live by the sea, or just to take a trip to the sea. You might hear a message, like you might hear messages in the wind, or if you press your ear against the shell. Yeah. Okay. Is that everything? Yes. Group number 2. these are all the messages I have for you and the angels have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose a topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 2, I'm sending so much love to you, to your angels, to your beautiful soul family, to your loved one or loved ones who have passed on, and I thank them all for being here, and I thank you for being here and for facilitating this reading. And yeah, much love to you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the Ametrine, this is going to be your reading. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start with these oracle cards that are laid out here. In this part of the reading, we are going to see which angels are with you and what they would like to talk to you about today. So our first card is Archangel Ametrine with the message New Beginnings. And we also have Archangel Agate with the message Clairsentience. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. Oh, and then we have Archangel Raphael. I am helping you heal physical challenges in yourself and others. You are a healer like me. Then we have Buttercup with the message Child. And Spirit. My spirit creates my perceptions. So I just want to mention right away that you guys have 3 archangels coming through. This is an archangel deck, so of course every card in the deck is going to be an archangel, but these 2 decks are not. This one has a variety of different angels, and then this one is not even all angels. There's like archangels, ascended masters, there's deities in this deck, so it's very interesting that you guys got 3 archangels. There may actually be more archangels than the ones that are present here around you, so if there's a certain archangel that you guys feel an affinity to, even if they're not in this spread, it does not mean that they're not with you. I feel like there are likely several more archangels around you, but these are the ones who wanted to come through today. It's interesting. I remember in the Angel Tarot deck, which is the very first tarot deck I ever got, Archangel Ametrine is on the Fool card. So, you know, this card talks about new beginnings, and, you know, the Fool card in tarot, it's number 0. It's like literally the very first card. And it's this feeling of anything is possible. Anything is possible in this new chapter. We also have the number 15 on this card, which if we isolate, if that's the word, the digits, number 1 talks about new beginnings, number 5 talks about change. So I think a new chapter is starting in your life, and your angels, what was that? I think that was a horn? That just scared me. Okay, and maybe this new chapter is gonna be kind of unexpected, or it's gonna come out of nowhere and be very surprising. And number 5 is all about change. So yes, I think that they are emphasizing that this new chapter is going to be very different from the life that you've lived up until now, in a good way. But it's like you're going through a complete, I'm hearing the word makeover. Your life is going through a complete makeover. It's going through a complete 180. It's almost like your life would be unrecognizable. The Fool card, which I really feel called to mention just because of Ametrine being here and that link in the Angel Tarot, it does talk about unexpected opportunities. I feel like there's a lot of unexpected blessings that are coming your way, either that you had never considered yourself receiving them, like you'd never even thought of it, or I'm also feeling it could be wishes that you once had, but that you kind of let go, maybe begrudgingly. You were like, okay, you know, maybe this is a silly wish, maybe it's time to move on, and you'd sort of, you know, let go of the idea of receiving it. I'm also thinking of the Star card, which makes me think of that kind of energy too, like a wish that seems like maybe I lost my chance or it's just too far away now. I feel like those things are going to be coming back as well. So big changes coming for you guys, but I do feel that they're all positive, and many of them are very unexpected, and they might they might startle you, like that car horn outside kind of startled me. The other thing that I really wanted to say in this spread is that this group straight up is just extremely spiritually gifted. We have the Spirit card here. We have Child, which is making me think that perhaps you guys were like highly psychic children, or you could currently have a child, or you will have a child who is highly psychically gifted. And of course, it could be both. Like you were very psychic as a child, and your child will be too. But one thing that I can really feel from you guys is I feel like you've always felt the oneness in everything. You know, like a big part of our spiritual pursuit is to transcend the illusion of separation and see how we're all connected and see how we're all one. And I feel like this is something that has just come very naturally to you guys, like for a long time, from a very young age. I feel like you've really been able to understand that, you know, the truth is not black or white, it's black and white and everything in between, and that, you know, at the end of the day, there is really no you that is separate from me and me that is separate from you. This whole world, this whole universe is one like beautiful living, breathing network. And you know, when I do something to make me happy, that benefits you, but if I hurt you, I'm also hurting me, and if I hurt myself, I'm also hurting you. Like, I think you just, that feeling of interconnectedness, that feeling of oneness, I feel like it's just so, it's such a given for you. It's so natural to you. And I can see even some of you as a child, like not really understanding how people can, I want to say like fall prey to the illusion of separation so easily. How people like forget that we're all one, or how people forget that we are literally made of love. You might have been someone, or you are currently someone who, you know, sees how people fight and how people argue and how people constantly want to prove that they are right over someone else, or that they are better than someone else. And I almost feel like that feels just like a foreign concept to you. And you may have always known that, you know, this life isn't everything. This human experience on earth is just the tip of the iceberg of what our soul is and what our soul will experience. And maybe it was kind of peculiar to you seeing people get so, it's like taking the simulation so seriously, or like taking the 3D experience so freaking seriously, and, you know, letting their ego get in the way. You know, this idea of oneness and universal love that we're all striving to understand, I feel like for you guys, it's like, yeah, of course. Like, oh, okay, you guys finally figured it out. And not in a judgmental way, but like, you're just on another level. And I do feel that you guys possess psychic and spiritual gifts. We literally have clairsentience here, and we have that you are a healer. I think it's very interesting that both of these cards are talking about gifts that you have, because it's, you know, these cards are very diverse in terms of the messages that they bring. And it's also interesting that both of them talk about like something physical, like physical challenges, physical and emotional feelings, which, yeah, duh, that's clairsentience, sorry. But you guys might be able to, it's like you have a very close connection between your physical body and your emotional body, or between like your physical body and your spiritual body. And you might receive communications from spirits through physical sensation. So For example, this is just like a hypothetical example. If you were in a space where, you know, someone had previously lived and they were very heartbroken, like maybe they died of a broken heart. If you enter into this space, you might physically feel that feeling in your chest. Or if you, it could be different for everybody, but like, you know, if you experience a pain in your lower abdomen, then you know what that message means. Or if you feel like if your ear is tingling, or if you feel some warmth on the top of your head or something like that, it's, you know, it means a different thing for you. I feel like you can communicate through those physical sensations in your body. I'm also hearing that many of you guys might have synesthesia, which is where, oh God, I hope that I explained this right, but your sensory experiences are kind of linked. So for example, different musical notes could have different colors, or like days of the week could have a specific like smell or taste or something like that. If you guys have synesthesia, please feel free to correct me and explain properly in the comments, but it's like where your sensory experiences are interconnected in ways that for most people they are not. So you're like very gifted in your physical senses. I also think that you guys might really be the type of person, like if you're experiencing some kind of emotional or physical baggage, you will really feel that physically. Like if you guys are very emotionally overwhelmed, you might, you know, be very physically ill or very, very fatigued. And, you know, we all have that to some extent, but I just feel like your physical vessel is quite sensitive to the point that maybe others don't understand. And maybe you guys have been told before that like you're overreacting, like you couldn't feel it that intensely or something like that, but no, you definitely do. I feel like, yeah, you guys are very, very sensitive to energies around you, and that goes both in the emotional sense and in the physical sense. But it's interesting, you know, Raphael is proposing or suggesting that you might be able to use these gifts to help other people. I always feel called to mention in these cases, like this is only if you want to and you feel called to do so. But I feel like there might be some way that you could use your spiritual gifts to heal others, especially when it comes to like physical healing or releasing pain from the body, releasing stress from the body, releasing trauma that has been stored from the body. You might really be able to understand, like if someone's going through some kind of physical pain or ailment, oh, it has to do with this spiritual baggage, or it has to do with this past life experience that is carried over, or it has to do with this unfavorable energy that you are living in, like something in your home needs to be cleared away. Like energy clearing, energy healing, and through that helping people feel more physically comfortable. You guys have some kind of gift like that. Like you guys could be really good at balancing chakras. You could be really good at Reiki. Yeah, like clearing energy away from physical spaces, whether that's like a human body or like a house. I don't know, it's like you can sense that energy. Maybe you're able to see it as well, but I don't know. You're tapped into some realm that that most of us are not, or that it doesn't come so naturally to us. Yeah. And I think I think this part of the reading is just acknowledging these gifts that you have and validating these gifts that you have. Oh, and I also want to talk about this message that your spirit, maybe a more accurate translation is that your spirit shapes your perceptions. I think you guys also really have a good grasp on like this as within, so without, as above, so below. I think that you guys are also very, very gifted manifestors. Like you're able to literally reflect your inner world outwardly. I also think you guys have a really good balance of masculine and feminine energies with the number 34 here, because 3 makes me think of the Empress, 4 makes me think of the Emperor. So it's like divine, divine feminine, divine masculine, and then Ametrine as well. Ametrine is the balancing of masculine and feminine energies because it has amethyst and citrine in it. I'm pretty sure amethyst represents feminine and citrine represents masculine energies, at least like color wise and the meaning of those crystals. It seems like that's what it would be. But wow, we're just really coming to hype you up. We're here to acknowledge and honor your gifts. If you guys were thinking of becoming any sort of spiritual practitioner, this is your sign to do so. But again, like only if you feel called to do that. Some of you guys might also be good at like music healing or sound healing or like art healing as well. This healing can be done in so many different ways. And, you know, even if it was you never really considered to use that label for your profession, like, oh, I'm a spiritual healer, I'm a spiritual practitioner. Maybe this reading is encouraging you to see in what ways you could incorporate some kind of healing practices into what you do, because I feel like I say this a lot, but like healing work and light work, I really feel like that can be done in any field, you know, because even acts of kindness can heal. Even making someone feel comfortable can heal them. Even bringing convenience to someone's life can help with their healing. So, you know, in so many different fields you can find that. So maybe this reading is just encouraging you to be more conscious of your healing influence. And also maybe for some of you, this part of the reading was like a reminder. Maybe you've been more tapped into your spiritual gifts or embraced them more when you were younger. And as you got older, maybe you feel like they've become rusty, or you started to doubt them, or just haven't made as much time to explore them and to enjoy them. You know, child doesn't have to be literally your childhood, but just, you know, a time in the past, a time where you were younger. And I think your angels are reminding you like, hey, you still have these gifts. Even if you haven't been using them, they're still here and you're not going to lose them. And they'll always be happily waiting for you if you would like to try using them again. So yeah, what a beautiful energy. And let's move into your tarot now. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know if I sound different from like other videos, but I definitely feel compared to other groups, I just feel a lot more like relaxed. I feel a lot more calm. Okay, so let's get into our messages for group number 3. What else do the angels want to tell you? Ooh, we have the 4 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, the 10 of Cups. Oh my gosh. I have to say the cards are just like bloop. They're just plopping out. That's kind of an ugly word, but they're just plopping out so effortlessly. The Hermit, and the 6 of Swords. Yes. So yeah, I just very often pay attention to how the deck is behaving. I think it says a lot about like the energy we're dealing with, or the energy of the person I'm reading for, or like how your spiritual team is feeling. As I've just said, I feel very calm when I'm reading your energy. I feel very grounded as well, which is interesting because we've been speaking so much about, you know, how you guys are very tapped into higher spiritual realms, and yet there's something about your energy that is very, very grounding. And I really admire how connected you guys are to higher realms, and yet you still really allow yourself to be human and to be here on earth. If you ever deal with like questioning from people or comments of like, how can you be spiritual and also do this, or how can you be spiritual but you don't do that, like if you don't fit into the mold of what someone thinks a spiritual person looks like, just let it slick off your back like water off a duck's back. Like, it does not matter. And probably you guys know that, but I just wanted to maybe confirm that to you or reiterate that to you. In terms of astrological placements that we have here, we have Virgo with the Hermit, and I am getting better at these, but I still can't remember all of them. This is Venus in Aries, so Venus in Aries could be significant. And this is, I believe it's Mercury in Aquarius. So those could be significant placements as well. And I actually think you can have both of those. Like, you could be a Pisces, you could be like a Pisces sun and have Venus in Aries and Mercury in Aquarius. Or you could be an Aquarius sun and have Venus in Aries and Mercury in Aquarius. That's probably very, very specific. But if you do have those, wow, would that ever be a very specific confirmation? All right, so let's just get into this spread. One thing I want to mention that is just so amazing, you know, usually when I get one of these cards, I'm like, oh guys, like this is one of the happiest cards in tarot. Like it's either the Four of Wands or the Ten of Cups, but you guys literally got both of them. What I would consider, and what I think many others would consider, the happiest cards in tarot. And it's reminding me of the energy I was channeling at the very, very beginning of this reading, where there's a huge new beginning coming for you guys that is deeply going to change your life, but it's all positive stuff. I'm just looking at this image a little bit more. I don't know, something about this looks like a bunch of souls going down a river. So maybe you guys were like part of a generation of souls or part of a wave of souls that came down onto Earth with a similar purpose or from a similar origin. Because the Four of Wands is also about like union and celebration and finding your community. So this could be you guys like uniting with your spiritual community, uniting with your star family, you know, with the wave of souls that you came down with. Or you guys might be, something that you guys might do in this lifetime is like usher in a new wave of souls onto Earth and help them get accustomed to Earth. Like, for example, you're in a higher generation, and then this new wave of baby humans come into Earth, and you will be some kind of guide for them, or like help them get used to Earth. Or maybe you have had experience as being a spirit guide before. I don't know why that came up right now, but I just thought I would I would mention that. But yeah, this Four of Wands and this Ten of Cups, they are very, very happy cards. The Four of Wands, like I said, it talks about unions and finding your community. It also talks about being in alignment with your calling. You know, it's sometimes called like the 1111 card because of how it looks like, you know, 1111. I see this card as someone who is like happily living out their calling. They're doing exactly what they want to do in the world, and they feel very, very fulfilled by it. And also someone who's in their dream living situation. I think like the number 4 makes me think of the home, like the 4th house. And I think that the Four of Wands can also talk about like a happy family and happy home matters. So maybe for some of you guys, this big change that is coming is that you're entering into your dream home, or you're entering into your dream living situation. Maybe some of you guys are having a child or starting a family or something like that, but I see happy changes coming to your home. I see your home becoming a lot brighter and your life becoming a lot more fulfilled. And there could be some sort of celebration that is happening as a result of this. Like people are coming to celebrate this milestone of your life, or to celebrate this positive change, or this change is going to lead to unions, you know, with your tribe, with your people that you really resonate with the community that you really resonate with. I see you in this thriving energy, like you're exactly where you want to be. You're doing exactly what you want to be doing. I would even go so far to call this like your dream life that you're going to be living, because The Ten of Cups is also about like everything you ever wanted, all of your dreams coming true, your happily ever after. A big step to you guys living your dream life, I think, is coming suddenly and unexpectedly and very soon. And it's really going to make its presence known. Like, I keep going back to that to that car horn, but it's like, when this change enters your life, or when this opportunity enters your life, I think it's going to be extremely loud, such that you couldn't miss it. It's like if you were driving down a road and you're thinking, how am I going to know which exit to take? And your angels are like, oh, don't worry. Like, at the exit you're supposed to take, there's going to be like fireworks and a team of 17 cheerleaders, and there's going to be music blasting, and there's going to be a big neon arrow saying it's over here. So any step that you guys need to take to enter into this dream life, like, the next steps are going to be so loud and obvious. And I feel like the Seven of Wands here is saying that the hard part is over. This is a card that can talk about, you know, like struggle, fighting an uphill battle, facing a lot of resistance. But in this deck in particular, you know, this really looks like a phoenix. And so it's almost like the struggles that you have been through, you're finally rising from them. You're rising from the ashes. You're transforming. Fire here. Fire is very transformational. And, you know, it burns away everything that was there before. So you guys might be leaving a cycle that felt like a struggle, that felt like an uphill battle, that felt like a lot of resistance, a lot of obstacles. And this card is saying, like, all of that is, what's the word? Figuratively or symbolically being burned away. Because again, this is a complete shift. This is a complete 180, and we're moving into, this is showtime. We're moving into your dream life now. And I'm also hearing like tests are over, or you're not being tested anymore. Something like that. Like, this next part is not a test. We are just leading you where you need to go, and it's going to be very straightforward because you've already made it. You're already here. You're ready. Like, there's nothing left to learn. There's nothing left to heal. There's nothing left to work on. I don't mean ever in your life, but I just mean, like, there's no other boxes to check to say, like, okay, you're ready to live your dream life now. Like, no, it's here. You're here. And yeah, it's coming very soon, very suddenly, the next step, or the big opportunity to lead you here. Maybe even for some of you guys, it's like a matter of, okay, let me calm down a bit. I was going to say, for some of you, it's a matter of days, which honestly, maybe it is for some of you, but with the Hermit here, it could also be that Virgo season is going to be significant, which at the time that this is uploaded is not even that far away, I think. So late August to late September could be a significant time. But yeah, I also feel that there's going to be travel in your future, or some kind of relocation, because we have the Six of Swords here, and also the Ten of Cups here. I really like this version of the Ten of Cups. There's also I think it's in the Moonchild that I really like the Ten of Cups. Because, you know, these people have their happily ever after, but that doesn't mean they're just settling down. It's like, no, our happily ever after, this is where the adventure begins. I feel like they're looking out over this horizon and looking at the beautiful rainbow and the river and the mountain range, and they're like, this is ours to explore. So, you know, you might have your home base, but then, you know, you travel to different places for work, or maybe you have several bases, like you have a summer residence, you have a beach residence, or something like that. But I see you exploring, I see you adventuring, I see you traveling in this new chapter and really marveling at the planet Earth. I see that in the Ten of Cups, which I feel like is a little bit less of the traditional interpretation, but for the Six of Swords, this is definitely one of the like standard definitions of the card, that it talks about taking a trip. And also, I didn't even realize this when I was talking about like the hard part is over, this next part is easy. That's also a meaning of the Six of Swords. Like, a difficult time is over and now we're moving into peaceful waters. And I love that we have this imagery of riding off into the sunset, because I feel like often in movies or in stories, when you're riding off into the sunset, that's a happy ending. That's a happily ever after. So, you know, this reading really seems to be saying very, very strongly that your happy ever after is here. And I think with the Hermit, this is actually really sweet. It's like, okay, this is the happy ever after that is so personally tailored to you, and that really belongs to you. The story that you're living out here, this is the story that you wrote, not the story that your parents wrote or that your teachers wrote or that society wrote. It's your happily ever after. And I'm just thinking back to, you know, in the first part of this reading, there was that feeling that maybe some of you guys needed to be reminded of your gifts and reminded of your true essence, and that maybe you had kind of strayed away from it, or some of your wishes. We spoke about that as well, like some wishes that you had maybe put on the back burner, or some wishes that you had given up on and started to write a different story instead. It's like you're coming back to the manuscript of the dream life that you always wanted, that was always yours. And so there might have been a period along your journey where you started to get influenced by external pressures, or, you know, what other people say the dream life looks like, you know, getting in that, I need to prove to people that I'm in a happily ever after, and that, see, this is the dream life. But your dream life might not look like that to other people. What you place value on and what you find joy in might not be what is conventional. And I think you're reaching this place of inner peace where you really could not care less about that. You know, the Hermit is very, very connected to his own inner compass, and he doesn't get swayed by external values or external influences. He is just walking on his own darn path, whether you like it or not. And I feel like this is the energy that you guys are coming back to. I feel like the Hermit with his long beard, I think he often has a long beard, but it's really standing out in this card to me for some reason. You know, he looks old and he looks very wise. So maybe this is something that is just happening for you guys, like as you age, as you get older. It's like you stop caring. You stop caring what people think. You stop feeling the need to prove yourself. You're like, I just want to live my happy life. I just want to live my peaceful life. And so this, like, the hard part is over and the tests are over. This could very well just be something that you have decided. Like, I'm putting an end to the hard part because I'm just not putting myself through this crap anymore. I don't care. Like, I don't care enough to stress myself out about these things. I don't care enough to work really hard just to prove a point. Like, whatever. Maybe for some of you guys, this is like, you know, society's definition of success is like hustling and making a lot of money and, I don't know, starting a business or something like that. And maybe you guys are saying, like, my idea of a dream life is just living in a nice, cozy little home and working a regular job, like whatever it is. And so maybe to other people, it looks like that's not the aspirational life. And you're like, and at one point you were really fighting, either you were fighting to live a life that other people would deem the dream life, or you were fighting to prove to other people, see, this can be a dream life too. But now you're just like, screw it. I don't care anymore. I just want to live my peaceful life that was always meant for me. And that's like so freeing. It's so freeing. And yeah, I think for some of you guys, that's just come with time. That's just come with age. Like, your life is becoming simplified like that. Okay, so let's look into your last oracle cards now to get any other additional messages or guidance for you. Ask and receive. You get what you have the courage to ask for. Ask for help or support. It's interesting that this card comes out. First of all, definitely feel like this applies to your life as a human in the 3D. Like, if there's something that you want, ask around. Don't be afraid to ask, because, you know, the worst case scenario is that you get a no, and that's okay. But you could also be very, very pleasantly surprised that someone says yes and that someone helps you. What is that expression? The squeaky wheel gets the grease or something, which I've tried to use that expression before. I think that's what it is. But like, people won't know what you want or if you need help if you don't speak up. So I definitely think this can be applied in a 3D sense, but I also think that your angels are bringing up this point with relation to them. And, you know, we've been speaking about wishes that may have been let go, wishes that may have been given up on. Maybe somewhere along the line you felt like, oh, this wish is too big, or this wish is too out there, or it's time to just move on. It's time to grow up and move on. It's time to be more realistic. And it does take a lot of courage to be very honest about what you want, because, you know, you're putting your heart out on the line, and you're being, when a dream is really close to your heart, like, it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable to say, like, this is what I really want, and it would really mean a lot if I could live this life. Like, you're opening up your heart to that. Opening up your heart to, you know, getting your hopes up and expecting it, which is scary. And I feel like your angels are saying, if you're courageous enough to ask us, we might just be able to help you. We have follow the path of least resistance, and we have the number 20, which is reminding me of the Judgment card. So it's like awakening, leveling up. I also really like this message for you guys because we were speaking about, like, the hard part is over, and you're releasing resistance. I feel like what we've just spoken about, this is the Hermit's path. The path of least resistance is the path that comes the most naturally to you. And I think this is what the next phase of your life is. Like, it's like you don't need to struggle to prove a point anymore, or you don't need to struggle to earn your happiness anymore. I feel like you guys are really just surrendering to enjoying living the most peaceful life, and like, you're choosing your inner peace over anything else. And this is actually something I'm trying to work on myself as well. But I find, like, when you prioritize your inner peace really, really highly above other things, man, it just feels good. I wasn't really going anywhere deep with that. It just feels very, very good. We have Apophyllite, which I don't know if I brought it. Is it here? No, I think the Apophyllite might be in Canada after all. But I like Apophyllite. And we have the message increased support. Your positive focus and willingness to receive. Interesting. Your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened the doorway to an abundance of help and opportunities. Like we were speaking about, unexpected opportunities coming your way and making their entrance into your life very known, your angels being very loud. Yeah, I feel like it starts from you. Your choice to focus on living your happiest life and your willingness to receive, that's gonna cause some like glitch in the matrix, that's gonna cause some kind of shifting in your reality, where something very big is happening for you very quickly that is just shifting you into your dream life. This is gonna sound really cheesy, but like maybe your dream life is a state of mind. And then finally, we have cleanse and detoxify. With great love and respect, we ask you to detoxify your precious and sensitive body. Again, the messages of you guys having a very sensitive physical vessel. At your request, will help you to develop life-affirming ways to deal with stress, as well as ease any sorrow at shedding your old ways. Give your cares, worries, and concerns to us and feel the beautiful grace of your newly purified body. I feel like you guys are empaths, but it's like you experience it physically. So, you know, we often hear about empaths, like if they're in a space where there's a lot of negative energy, they might feel very tired or very nervous, or just feel very down or very uneasy, and they have to get out of that space. I feel like for you guys, your empathic abilities would have some kind of physical manifestation, you know? So you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I've had this headache, or I keep having really frequent headaches for months. And, you know, first you try some physical things to remedy it. Like you try, I don't know, taking painkillers or getting sleep or hydrating or whatever it is. And that doesn't seem to fix the issue. And it's like you weren't expecting it. And then maybe you think it's something energetic within yourself, you know? Oh, like maybe it's some spiritual baggage that I have. Maybe it's some emotional issue that I have. So maybe you try to release, maybe you try to do some shadow work and it's still not getting better. And the solution, or not the solution, the root of the problem could lie in, you know, being in an environment where negative energy is prevailing. Like if you're in a workplace with a lot of stressed out people, or with a lot of pessimistic people, rather than, you know, as we might traditionally hear with an empath, rather than picking up on that emotionally and feeling those things or having those thoughts, it's like you would suffer from it physically, if that makes sense. Like the negative energy around you is manifesting as a physical symptom in your body. I hope that that makes sense. It's kind of interesting. Maybe, I don't know if that's like a common thing for other people, but I just never seen it come up in a reading like that. I'm usually like, oh, okay, these are empaths, so just make sure of emotions and thoughts that are not your own. But in this case, it's like, are you suffering from headaches? There might be some negative people in your environment. It's like, yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, sorry if that was like rambling a little bit. It's just kind of a cool and not so familiar concept to me. But if there's anything that's been bugging you guys physically, and like trying to treat it physically doesn't help, or, you know, healing your own spiritual and emotional wounds doesn't help, it might be something that you're picking up from people around you. But yes, group number 3, those are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in checking out the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 3, I am sending you guys so much love, and much love to your angels as well. I thank them very much for being here and facilitating this reading. And of course, I thank you very much for being here as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the blue agate, this is going to be a reading. I just think this stone is so cool and so beautiful. I actually got her recently. I happen to be in the area of the crystal shop I often go to, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything today. I'm just gonna go in and look at them, which, like, who am I kidding? But I just couldn't resist her. Look at her, it's so cool. And yeah, she ended up coming home with me. So anyway, let's get into your reading. We're gonna start off with these oracle cards that I have laid out here. In this part of the reading, we're gonna see which angels are with you and what they would like to talk to you about today. So let's get right into it. The first card that we have is, ooh, this is the goddess Kuan Yin, and she has the messages of mercy, I think it's charity, and relief or comfort. Mercy, charity, and relief. And then we have Archangel Gabriel with the message leadership. It is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. Astara, you deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. Then we have Oleander with strong boundaries. And gratitude. I'm appreciative for every experience that life brings me. Okay, so I want to start over here with Kuan Yin, who I guess is technically a goddess rather than an angel, but she's with you. She is definitely with you. And I think it's very sweet that we have this green card here. Personally, when Kuan Yin appears to me, she has like a green color. So I feel like that's reflecting very nicely, and you know, pink and green, these are the colors of the heart chakra. Kuan Yin's energy is just so warm and loving, like a very, very protective, very, very loving motherly energy. I feel like the love from her is intense, but it feels very sweet and it feels very gentle. And actually, my favorite temple in Japan that I always just love so much actually has a statue of Kuan Yin, which I didn't know at the time because in Japanese she's called Kannon, so it's like a little bit different, and I didn't realize that they were the same that they were the same deity. I didn't put two and two together, but yes, my favorite temple ever has Kuan Yin there. I really, really love her energy. Maybe you guys are already familiar with her. Maybe you already knew that she was with you. But if you are not so familiar with her and you feel called to, you may want to look her up and see how she resonates with you. But I definitely feel like she is always with you to bring you comfort in hard times and never wants you to worry. I think she would say, like, give all of your worries to me. I'm also hearing like my child, and maybe that's just me who feels her in a very motherly way, but this might be a way that she addresses you, a way that she calls you to comfort you. But yes, I'm hearing like, give all your worries to me. There is nothing to worry about. Everything is going to be okay. I think that's what this relief message is talking about. And then with the messages of charity and mercy, I think that this could also be her encouraging you to forgive yourself, encouraging you to be much easier on yourself when it comes to your present. So like, you know, what you're getting done or how well you feel you might be doing. I feel like you can give yourself a lot more credit. And I also think that she's encouraging you to forgive yourself for past mistakes, for things that you may have said or done when you didn't know any better. I feel like you guys might be very hard on yourselves for past things as well. And I think that it's really time to forgive yourself and release that. Another thing that I actually feel, I feel a lot of, yeah, like with charity and mercy, I feel a lot of compassion coming from you guys as individuals. I feel like you guys might have an affinity for like to help those who are in need, or you feel a lot of compassion for those who are in need. And one thing that might bring you a lot of fulfillment in this lifetime, and that may be in some way linked to your calling, is some form of activism or some form of support, volunteer or charity work, or with profit, but something that helps those in need, whether that is human minorities, whether that be animals, whether that be our planet, our environment. I'm also hearing like the work that you do might greatly help those who are underrepresented or misrepresented, like in the media, for example, or those whose existence has been stigmatized. You might speak up for these kinds of communities, or the work that you do is really helping these communities. But I feel your soul as very benevolent, very compassionate, someone who wants to help others, someone who wants to uplift others. I feel like you have a very selfless spirit, and at times you might need to be reminded that it is okay to be selfish too. And it is okay to put yourself first too. Next to this, we have the leadership card with Archangel Gabriel. It is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. I do feel like if you're not in this position already, at some point in your life, you would find yourself in a leadership position, in a position of authority, in a high position of power, or your soul might be suited for these kinds of positions. I feel like this is something that might make you feel uncomfortable, or at some point in your life it has made you feel kind of uncomfortable or awkward. And I think that you're being encouraged to sort of revise the way that you relate to like being a leader, or your definition of a leader position. And I understand this because I feel like a lot of the people we see in leader positions or positions of authority are kind of going about it in the wrong way, actually are going about it in sort of a toxic way, where to be a leader means that you are above the others. To be a leader means that you control others, that you dictate what others do, or even that you oppress others. It's like this position of control. It's this position of intimidation. I feel like this is what we see a lot on earth, sadly, whereas a true leader is someone who lovingly guides, is someone who is equal with those who they are leading, and is there to empower them, is there to guide them, is there to help them, or who is simply there to be an example, or who is there to be a ray of hope. And so, you know, if you guys have felt like, oh no, I couldn't be in a leadership position, you know, that might be something that makes you feel kind of uncomfortable in your ego, because it's like you don't want to assert that you're better than someone else, or that you could tell someone what to do. And so I think you're being encouraged to look at it in a different way, like to look at a leadership position from a different perspective and see it's actually something that can be quite humbling. And you know, when you go about leadership position in the right way, it's something that's very beneficial for, and I don't want to say like your followers, but for your community, for those that you are serving. It's something that really benefits them, that really uplifts them. I feel like what you guys could embody is a true leader, and that takes some beautiful divine energy, divine masculine energy, divine feminine energy. Whereas we've seen displays of toxic masculine energy and toxic feminine energy, and I feel like that skews our perception of like what these words mean, or what it means to be in that position. But yeah, I feel like you guys could be a beautiful leader, even if it's just like shining your light and living by example. I feel like when you come out of your shell and when you make yourself seen to the world, your compassion is going to help so many people. And then we have this Astara card right next to that. You deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires, and don't compromise. And this is kind of reminding me a little bit of that message, like it's okay for you guys to be selfish, or it's okay for you to also like gain something in the process of helping others. Like the process of helping others doesn't have to be completely selfless in order to be like respectable, or in order to be noble. So, you know, I felt like clarifying a little earlier, like you can, for example, you can make a profit out of the work that you do, or you can do something that is in alignment with your own dreams, something that fulfills you. I feel like what you're learning is that there's a way to give to others and help others without necessarily having to like sacrifice, or without it necessarily having to be at your own expense. And I feel like your angels are showing you there's a way that you can really uplift so many people, but also be following your own dreams, and also be making gains from it, and enriching your own life and fulfilling your own life. And that doesn't make you selfish, or even if it does, that's not a bad thing, because you can be selfish as in taking care of yourself, and you can also be serving other people. And you deserve to have all of your wildest dreams come true. So moving on here, we have strong boundaries and we have gratitude. Boundaries maybe are, or have been, a big lesson for you guys in this lifetime. Just sitting with your energy, we could have some people pleasers in this group, people who have trouble saying no, or people who are very terrified at the idea of upsetting someone or inconveniencing someone as if it would be the end of the world. I could also see we have people in this group who are maybe very afraid of criticism, or very afraid of judgment from others, as if that is the end of the world, which is something that I feel like I still kind of struggle with it. Ooh, we have like, the sun is setting now, so we're gonna have like the sunlight slowly flooding into this reading, which I think is really, I think is really sweet. But yes, I think that establishing strong boundaries has maybe been a big lesson for you guys in this lifetime. And learning that your desires and your concerns and the way that you want to express yourself, not only does it objectively matter just as much as anybody else's, but in fact, in your life, in the life that is yours, your desires, your concerns, your wants and needs should matter the most. I feel like at some point, maybe you guys have become a secondary character in your own life, like you've taken a back seat in your own life. And for some, it may have been that people, you know, blatantly or intentionally made you feel that way. But for others, it's like, it was just like caring so much about pleasing everyone or caring so much about giving to others or serving others, you inadvertently put yourself in this backseat. And I think your angels are saying it's okay for you. And no, you should be. You should be the main character of your life. This card is about stars. I feel like Astara has something to do with stars, like Astro or Astera. But yeah, it has something to do with stars. And I feel like they're saying you should be the star of your own life. Even I was kind of thinking before, like the number 19 is making me think of the sun in tarot. And the sun is all about being in the spotlight, being the main character. It's that Leo energy. And I feel like this is what you guys, are being encouraged to take back. We're finding a way to serve others, but not at our own expense. With this gratitude message here, I'm appreciative of every experience that life brings me. I'm just thinking back to the earlier message of you guys forgiving your past self. If you guys have been working on having better boundaries and putting yourself first, you guys might find yourself sometimes looking back and kind of kicking yourself for like, oh, you know, I should have said no in that situation, or I let this person take advantage of me, or for so long I lived a life that was inauthentic just because I was afraid of judgment or I was afraid of upsetting someone. And you may at times, you know, judge yourself harshly for that or kind of get down on yourself for that. And I feel like especially Kuan Yin is saying there's no need for that. There is no need to criticize yourself because, you know, in that moment, you were doing the best that you could. And, you know, learning your worth and learning how to put yourself first, it's a very common struggle. And it's a journey that takes a very long time. Like when we've learned people pleasing, when we've learned sacrificing, when we've learned overexerting or overgiving, when we've learned putting ourselves in the back seat, it can take a long time to unlearn that. And there is no shame in that. And I think rather than judging your past self, we need to be grateful for our past self. Like, you always did the best that you could, and I'm grateful for you because without you, without the past version of you, you wouldn't have the current version of you. And I think that there's definitely something in being grateful for all of these experiences that you've had, even if they weren't pleasant. They all taught you something in the end. I also really like that you guys have white flowers because it makes me think of purity and innocence. The color white makes me think of a fresh start. There's this feeling of you guys turning a new leaf in your life. Like, we're going to start caring for ourselves. We're going to start looking out for ourselves. We're going to start putting ourselves first and filling our own cup. And it's going to feel very, very good. So, okay. This is what I see for your first row of oracle cards. So let's get into your tarot now and see what other messages your angels have for you. I was feeling really calm for group 3, and I'm feeling really calm for this group as well. So we have Temperance coming out, Justice, which is funny because both of these are cards about balance, and we've been talking a lot about the balance between filling your own cup and filling others' cups, and we have the Page of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Okay, I'm just going to have a sip of water because this is group number 4 and I've been talking a lot and I feel like my voice might be getting a little bit raspy. I also have to have the air conditioning on because we're getting into the warmer seasons and I get very warm when I'm reading, so that probably also makes my throat a little bit raspy. But anyway, let's talk about this Temperance and Justice energy. This is Sagittarius and Libra energy respectively. Those could be significant signs in your chart or the signs of people who are significant to you, a Libra or Sagittarius person or someone who has those energies. It could also be indicating like a window of time that is going to be significant for you guys. So between Libra and Sagittarius season, which is late September to late December, if I did that right. Yes, late September to late December could be a significant time for you guys. Again, I definitely think both of these cards are here to highlight the need for balance in your life or the state of balance that you guys are coming into. Temperance talks about a long journey that requires patience. So again, I feel like this is emphasizing to be very patient with yourself as you figure out the balance that feels best for you. You know, these things do take time, and sometimes these are lifelong journeys and lifelong processes that we go through, and sometimes this balance is going to shift. Like there will be seasons of your life where you feel more called to really focus on yourself and fill your own cup, and then there will be seasons of your life where you feel really called to give to others, and that's okay. So there's no magical formula, right, of like, when should I say yes and when should I say no? When should I fill my cup and when should I fill others' cup? There's no like rule of thumb for this. And I think, you know, the Temperance card fits really well with this message because Temperance is also about just like feeling things through, trying out different things until you get that perfect balance. So, you know, it's not this like definitive goal where you're like, okay, I figured it out and now I'm good and I can move through the rest of my life. It's something that you constantly, you know, need to check in on and see, okay, I need a little bit more self-care right now. Okay, I'm feeling energized. I feel like I can focus a bit more on service and I can give a little bit more of myself. It's like, it's something that you're constantly going to be adjusting. And so with that said, there's no shame in figuring that out. There's no like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm getting the balance wrong. It's whatever feels right to you. And if you're a little bit out of alignment, if you're a little bit in an energy that doesn't feel right, there's no shame in that. There's no need to beat yourself up for that. We just need to readjust a little bit. That's all. Well, no, I don't say that's all to belittle because it can be quite difficult, but we just keep trying until we get it right, and it's okay. Kind of an interesting message that was coming out with the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups. It's a little bit specific and it may be kind of on a different subject, but I feel like something that is coming in the near future for you guys is something that you were doing just for fun, something that you were doing like just to express yourself, just to see how it goes in a very light-hearted way, is actually going to become the source of a lot of success or a lot of abundance for you. Very quickly, I could use my experience as an example where I started this YouTube channel like just for fun, and I didn't really know what was going to come of it, and I was very inconsistent. It was just a way to express myself, just a way to explore tarot. You know, that's the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups being the youngest of the court cards, it's not a fully formed thought, or it's not a fully formed plan. So it has potential to go any different way. And especially with the Page of Cups, this is a card about like embracing the twists and turns of life, or embracing the unpredictability of life. So it's like, I'm just going into this with not a lot of expectations because I like it. I think it's fun. I want to explore it a little bit more. You know, with the Ace of Cups, it's like, I'm just doing this for myself. I'm just doing this for the enjoyment and the pleasure of it. Even this number 5 earlier, I was thinking 5th house, like leisure, pleasure, hobbies, joy. That's gonna lead to, or it could lead to, a lot of material success for you, or it could lead to a lot of recognition for you. And I don't say that to say you have to turn it into a career, or you have to turn it into a source of income, but if you follow your joy, and if you follow your hobbies, and if you try things out just for fun, you might be surprised at where it takes you. It could open a lot of doors for you, and it could grow into something very, very big that you weren't expecting. But yeah, I really felt the need to mention that specific message that was coming out here. Another thing that I can see with Justice, the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is a new relationship coming into your life. You know, Justice being related to Libra energy, this can talk about relationships. Page of Cups can also talk about new relationships or a new love coming into your life, and same thing with the Ace of Cups. So there's a lot of indicators of like a new beginning in love coming to you. And with both of these cards that are emphasizing balance, this could be someone who complements you very, very well, someone who really balances you out. I am definitely getting romantic vibes from this, for those of you who are looking for love, those of you who are hoping for a romantic union. Definitely see that in the cards here. Like, all of this is indicating very, very favorable energy for bringing new love into your life, or for further developing the relationship that you currently have with a person of interest, which is amazing. Of course, it could definitely be friendships or creative collaborations or things of that nature, but primarily I feel like love is in the air, romance is in the air for this group. Even if you're already married or in a committed relationship, this could be like a renewal of the love that is here for you, or a renewal of the love that is in your life already. I'm starting to feel a little bit spacey, which is not a bad thing. It usually means that the spirit guides who are around are very excited, or there's a lot of them that are crowding. So it could be that your guardian angels are very excited about this new or renewed love that is here for you. But there could also be something about you guys establishing or reestablishing your boundaries that is going to make your relationships so much better. Like, it's going to really improve the quality of your love life. It's going to really improve the quality of your romantic relationship, strengthening your own boundaries. While you might be afraid to do that because you think it could upset people or push people away, I feel like it's actually going to have the opposite effect, where it's really making your relationships so much happier, and it's making your relationships so much intimate. And I think you're going to find that, you know, the people in your life really respect you and honor your boundaries, or you're going to be attracting people into your life that really respect and honor those boundaries. But yes, very strong indications of new or renewed love for you here in your life. And I think it's coming quite soon for you with the Nine of Wands, because this is a card that makes me think like, hang in there, you're almost there. This love that you've been waiting for, this union that you've been waiting for is almost here. And this is a card that makes me think like, the hard part is over. You don't have to be strong anymore. I really like this image of this. This person reminds me of the High Priestess with the crescent moon. So they have this deep knowing of what they deserve and this deep knowing of what is coming to them. And then, I don't know, just the way this image looks, it looks like the sunflowers are like bending to her will. Like nature is bending to her will, or like the very fabric of the universe is bending to her will. So I feel like this is a chapter where you guys are really, really going to see the universe working in your favor. It's like the universe is saying to you, you deserve to have nice things. Here, have all the nice things. And a way that you guys could facilitate this energy is following your own joy. And I feel like something that's going to be really important for you guys in this next chapter is doing things just for the sake of doing them. So like just for the fun of it, or just for the experience. So we're not necessarily thinking about, where is this going to lead me? What is the end result of this going to be? What am I going to get out of this? Or what is someone else going to get out of this? We're having the experience literally just for the sake of having the experience. So no pressure, no expectations. That's what I really feel with the Page of Cups. Because he's a page, he's just young. He's not thinking about like, oh, what's going to happen when I grow into the king? Or is this what's going to make me into the king? They're just enjoying being a page. I'm thinking of, you know, many people say like they spent all of their youth, like I can't wait to grow up, or thinking about what's going to happen when they get older. And then looking back, they're like, I wish I just enjoyed my youth. I feel a little bit of that energy here as well. Like just enjoy the stage of life that you're at without thinking too much about like what's going to come of this. And then you'll find that a lot of surprise doors start opening for you. Maybe this is actually an energy that is going to be conducive, I think is the word, conducive in bringing in this new love to your life. Is like when you stop thinking like, is this what's going to bring love into my life? Is that what's going to bring love into my life? Is this what's going to make me meet my soulmate? And you're just like, let me just have this experience because it sounds fun. And I'm open to whatever comes from it. I'm open to whatever experience because I'm grateful for every experience that life brings me. Is this going to bring me a soulmate? Is it going to bring me a pet dolphin? Is it going to bring me money? Is it going to bring me a lesson? I don't know, but it's going to bring me something. I know that for sure, because when I put myself out there and show up for the universe will respond, and I'm going to be open to whatever that response might be, and I'm going to enjoy it. So if you put yourself in that kind of energy, so many pleasant surprises are coming to you, so many blessings are coming to you. And again, there's a strong indication or a strong hint that one of these blessings would be new or renewed love coming in for you. Yes. Okay, so let's take a look now at your final oracle cards, which are going to be any additional messages or guidance for you. I'm like all the way leaned over to this side because I don't want like my shadow to disrupt the sun, but at the same time I feel like it looks so cool. And I love how it's just like, oh, it's like light is coming in to flood you, to flood your life. Okay, so the first card that we have here is Courage. Fear is natural. It invites us to be brave. Accept and face what scares you. So some of you guys are being called to come out of your shell. You're being called to maybe move forward with a project, or to move forward with the pursuit of your dreams. Maybe the Page of Cups is even speaking about this a little bit, like embracing the first steps of the journey and moving forward, even though there's so many unknowns. Even though you don't know what's going to come of this, you're going to be open and you're going to go for it anyway. I'm also thinking back to this Astara card. You deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires, and don't compromise. And you know, even this requires a lot of courage. Yeah. I think this is about embracing the fear that comes with pursuing your dreams, or embracing the fear that comes with putting yourself out there and not letting that stop you. I'm also being called back to this boundaries card, and I think at the beginning of this reading we were talking about like some of you guys might be afraid of like judgment from others or criticism from others, or like you're afraid of disappointing other people. And with boundaries, it's like you guys might be giving other people too much power. You know, like let's say you want to start a tarot channel, or you want to put something of yourself out there, and it's like, I'm afraid of the judgment that I'm gonna get. What if people think I'm not good at it? What if people don't like it? Like, you're giving so much power to other people to dictate what you do with your life or what you don't do with your life? Is other people's opinion so important that you would sacrifice your own dreams for it? Like, never mind, I won't go after my dream because it's too scary. Like, when you put it that way, that's a little bit like, damn, other people have too much of the upper hand here. Other people have too much of a say in my life. I'm the most important person in my life, so it doesn't matter what you think about the pursuit of my dreams. It matters what I think about the pursuit of my dreams. And I want to do it. And I feel like the more you start to make yourself the main character and, put less importance on other people's thoughts or expectations, the less scary this will become. But at the same time, it's natural to have these fears. So this is not about like placing judgment on you for having these fears, but just kind of shedding a different light on it, putting it into a different perspective, and seeing like caring so much about other people's judgments or criticisms is actually giving them too big of a place in your life. It's like if you had a plot of land that represents your life and you're giving these people too big of a chunk of that land. Like, they need to know their place. They need to stay on the other side of your boundaries. The next card that we have is the love within you is infinite. Share it freely with the world. Yeah, you guys are meant to put yourself out there in some way. You guys are meant to express yourselves in some way. Come out of your shell and express yourself creatively and put yourself, I'm hearing like put yourself in center stage. Even with this leadership message, like you guys are meant to be seen in some way or to be followed in some way or to be appreciated in some way. Interesting. We also have Sapphire, easy does it. Your health, happiness, and abundance require a gentle approach to life and work. And ooh, look at this. We have creative project. Yeah, okay. I see you. Yeah, with the Page of Cups, you guys are definitely being encouraged to try some sort of creative project. And I'm just thinking, this could be something as simple as like going to dance class. It doesn't have to be like, I am pursuing a career as a creative person. This could literally be like, I want to go to dance lessons, but I'm afraid that people will laugh at me or people won't think I'm good at it or everyone's going to be staring at me. And your angels are saying, will you really let that stop you if that's something that you want to do? Are you going to not even let other people decide, but let your projection that you put on other people decide? Put more importance on your desires, put more importance on your will, and put more importance on your pleasure. So yeah, it doesn't even have to be like a professional pursuit or like becoming an artist or something like that. It's just like, maybe it's like, I want to dress in a different way. I want to dress in a way that defies gender norms, or I want to dress in a way that's a little unconventional. Maybe you are the creative project, but we're not going to let the fear of judgment stop us anymore. It doesn't mean that people aren't going to judge, but it's just like, you can judge all you want. That does not affect me. That doesn't affect me, and that's none of my concern, because I have proper boundaries in place, and it's not my business what you think of me, and it's not my thing to worry about. And if you're getting your panties in a knot about what I'm doing, that sounds like a personal problem. And I feel like this is what your angels, like the mindset that your angels are encouraging you to step into. On this card, we have your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. See, so this creative project can represent anything in your life, whether it's your career, your hobbies, your wardrobe, your words, the way you express yourself. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited and reignites passion towards your life. And with this Easy Does It card, I think your angels are encouraging you to make more time for just like pleasure and leisure in your life, you know, going back to that 5th house energy that I felt with the number 5 here, you know, time to yourself and time for your own personal enjoyment is very, very essential. We need to have a balance of this in our life. It's not just about working and serving others and, you know, doing things that are going to produce direct results or make someone money or be considered productive. You're definitely being encouraged to make time for your own leisure and for your own enjoyment and for your own pleasure, and just to take it easy. And I don't know why, but this message is making me feel, it's making me feel like, I don't know, like somebody is crying, or like that's a very emotional message. And maybe it's a feeling of relief. Like for so long I felt that I wasn't allowed to do that I wasn't allowed to make time for myself, that I wasn't allowed to make time for exploring my self-expression because it wasn't productive or it wasn't useful or it wasn't fruitful. But it's like, okay, this sounds kind of cheesy, but it's like your life is a work of art, and it's meant to be filled with beauty, and it's meant to be filled with love, and it's meant to be filled with pleasure. Yeah. So I think those are all the messages I have for this group and that your angels have for this group. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you guys are interested in checking out the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 4, I'm sending you guys so much love, and much love to your guardian angels as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!